Hola! So I wanted to make a vlog talking about the movie The Lovely Bones in comparison with the book. I just finished the book because I really wanted to watch the movie. The stipulation I made for myself was read the book first and then watch the movie so that the movie doesn't give away anything and so that I can visualize, lots of makeup in my eye. So that I can visualize what I think. Sorry, the cats were fighting. I don't know why that tickles me so much. I have a water bottle so I can squirt them if they're bad. But they're not around anymore. Okay, so the eyeliner is definitely like making everything blurry for me. I shouldn't rub on my eyes so much. I know, wrinkles, but I use a night cream, so we should be okay. So back to the review. I said I was going to read the book first, picture everything in my head, and then watch the movie. Well, I posted on my Facebook just a moment ago, well actually like 2 hours ago, that I was about to watch the movie, and a lot of people were like, oh, I hate it. It's not as good as the book. Most things are never as good as the book. The only thing that I will say that I like better than the actual series is True Blood. I've mentioned it before. I think the show is superior compared to the books, but that's just my opinion. So, if you haven't read the book or watched the movie and you intend to, and you don't want to be spoiled, then I probably wouldn't watch this review. Okay, and please excuse my cats in the background. They're going to just do their thing. So, the book was roughly 377 pages, at least my copy of it was. And it dealt with a girl named Susie Salmon, who was 14 years old, and she was murdered by a neighbor. And nobody figured that this neighbor would be the one to do it because and this is up front in the very beginning. She says his name, says that nobody would imagine that he did it because he kind of keeps to himself. So basically, the book is about Susie's venture into the in-between. She's not quite in heaven, and she's not ready to let go of Earth. I wouldn't call it a purgatory, but in a sense, it is. It's a place where she is trapped. Hey! It's a place where she is trapped, and she watches her former life, or those in her former life, grow or fall apart, or both. In the book, she is heavily drawn to a gentleman named Ray Singh, and, like racing. And she meets a girl named, oh gosh, what's that girl's name? Ruth. That's it, Ruth. And for a little bit, they become friends. They get to know each other. Ray and Susie, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. I think they get to the next level in their relationship / friendship, and they kiss, and she realizes that she really likes him. And Ruth is kind of this outcast, and she doesn't really fit. She gets in a fight with her professor over a drawing that she did that involves nudity. I'm so sorry about my eyes. There's a lot in the book. I know that was such a short tidbit, but there's a lot in the book that isn't covered in the movie, and I get that. The book was very drawn out, but there were a couple key things that I would have liked to have seen that I felt the movie didn't do as well. For instance, when Susie goes missing, before her family knows the truth, or even believes that possibility, Susie has a brother. It's Susie, Lindsay, and Buckley. Those are the siblings. And Lindsay is a year younger than Susie. Buckley doesn't really understand what happened to Susie. He constantly says, where is Susie? I don't understand. And his parents are constantly avoiding the question. Well, it gets to a point, there's a scene when the father, in the movie played by Mark Wahlberg, he shows him the game Monopoly, and he says, this is Susie's piece, and he shows him the car. And he says, if Susie doesn't play the game anymore, what is she? And I can't remember what the son said, or I don't even know if that's the correct quote, but I thought that that was a pivotal scene. It was telling a child, or teaching a child, a lesson about life and death, and what happens when somebody who's a key player in your life is no longer in your life. I thought that was a great scene and should have been worked in. And bear in mind that the DVD that I rented did not have any special features on it, so I don't know if that was incorporated in the deleted scenes. I didn't get to see any of that, if there were any. I know this is super annoying, me rubbing my eyes. I cannot get over how itchy they are. After this, I'm going to use some Visine. I really like the dynamic of the grandmother in the book towards the kids, and I felt that she was played superbly by Susan Sarandon. Granted, she didn't have as big of a role in the movie as she did in the book. I thought what she did portray and what they did decide to show was dead on as far as the book goes. The mother, the casting, I think it was like Rachel Weisz or something. Nothing against her. I just really didn't see her as the mother. She seemed too young in the movie to carry it on. I didn't see very much aging. She got a haircut. Big whoop. She got a haircut, but it's supposed to be months or years time, and all this is taking a toll on her. Another thing that was in the book, not so much in the movie, or not at all rather, was the development of the detective who is on Susie Salmon's case, trying to figure out where she is, and the budding relationship between the mother of Susie and the detective. Because there's a disconnect between the husband and the wife. And that shows a lot more in the book than it does in the movie. The father, Susie's father, goes to the hospital in the movie because he gets beat up by a boy in the cornfield where supposedly, well, actually, Susie was killed. He goes following the neighbor, thinking he's going to have a confrontation with him. He ends up stumbling over the girl and the boy who are in the cornfield making out. I think it was Clarissa and Brian. And Brian beats him to a pulp and he goes to the hospital. In the movie, that's when the mother comes home because she, at this point, has left and gone to California to live a different life. But in the book, she left after she realized that there was not going to be anything between she and the detective after an incident in the mall. And she stays there for years. And Lindsay and Buckley grow up. The father, Susie's father, has a heart attack. And that's when he goes to the hospital. And that's when the mother comes home. And Abigail is the mom's name. Sorry. I felt like all of the special effects in the movie were dead on. It blew my mind. I loved the scene of Susie running with the boats in a bottle, or ships in a bottle, breaking, showing her father's anguish over her death. I did not feel like they spent as much time as they should have developing the separation of the family. So much of this movie derived on Mark Wahlberg's character and the character of Lindsay. I thought Lindsay was a great character, and I definitely loved her in the book a little bit more. Well, I shouldn't say that. They were the same character, but the girl who played Lindsay in the book far surpassed what I thought was going to happen, because I had only seen the trailer of this movie maybe twice, so I had no idea who was playing what. The creepy next door neighbor, played by Stanley Tucci. I've never seen him play a weird role like this, and in the trailer, I didn't even realize it was him. So the whole time I'm reading the book, I'm envisioning this creepy old man with crazy eyes, because I saw it in the trailer. And then I see that it's Stanley Tucci, and I was like, oh gosh, I'm just going to think of The Devil Wears Prada. No, I thought he played his role very convincingly. The whole cast, I'm not going to say anything about the cast negatively because I thought it was great. The only things, like I said, I would love to see the Monopoly scene. I would have loved to see the relationship between Susie and Ray go on a little bit further. And I would have loved to have the addition of the mother, Ray's mother, in the movie. I could see why they took it out and why it didn't seem important. But in the book, she was such a cool character to add. And I would have liked to have seen Lindsay in grown-up form. I think whoever they picked to be the actress for her did great, and she looked so young at the time, and she did look older throughout the rest of the movie, but I would have loved to have believed that she was really a young 20-year-old. So that was my only gripe. I guess that's not really only, since I mentioned quite a few things. But overall, I really enjoyed the film, and I definitely loved the book. I'm probably going to see if I can read some more by this author. But my cousin wants me to read, I believe it's called The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls. If any of you have read about it, let me know. Well, that's all I have to say. I'm going to bed now. I'm tired and sick. So have a wonderful night. Thanks for listening to my rant/review, and make good choices.